Hi, everybody. Ooh, lots of reflection in the glasses. Let me take those off. I am doing an IG Live with my good friend Shabnam Jester, who is a therapist. Let me see if I can get her online. And let's see, invite to join. Let's see if she joins. Hi, Shabnam. Hopefully you're there. So today we're going to talk about fertility and fertility therapy. Shabnam is an expert in that, and I wanted to bring her on live. And we wanted to do it together because she also has a lot of followers. So let's see if she comes through. I might have to kind of... Okay, she's joined the call. Shabnam, can you come on? Let's see, let me invite her again. Oh, let's try again. Something's happening. Hopefully it's working. Well, if you're hanging in there, we're going to have Shabnam Jester, my good friend, who is a counselor. We're having some trouble bringing her on. I've accepted her. Oh no, it's not working. Huh. I'm not sure what's happening here. We may have to cancel this if it's not. She's unable to join. Okay, let's see why. Hmm. We're both doing the same thing over and over again. Hmm. Well, we don't know what's going on with Instagram Live tonight. Hopefully, we were trying to come on together. Sorry about that, guys. Shabnam, we want to try one more time. I know you've requested. I'm not sure why it's not working. Hmm. It's very frustrating. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and pop that into the. Okay, let's see if that worked. Remove from live video, blocker, add as moderator. Let's try that. Hmm. It's not working, huh? Even my dog's wondering what's happening. Oh, oh my gosh.
Yay!
It finally worked.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yay, we made it. Okay. All right. Hi. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It took a couple minutes, but we got it together and we're on IG Live. I know you and I both have a lot of followers, and I'm just going to introduce myself, and then Shabnam, if you can introduce yourself, we can get going and talking about fertility and therapy. Um, I'm Millen Chavarker. I'm a doctor of nursing practice, nurse practitioner in the San Francisco Bay Area, focused on women's health and functional medicine. I'm offering services for menopause, women's health issues, PCOS, endometriosis, fibroids, you name it. And one of my passions is fertility and helping couples, have the baby of their dreams, and helping them improve their fertility, either to get pregnant naturally or to improve their health before they go into IVF and doing artificial reproductive technology. And I'm so excited to do this IG Live with my good friend Shabnam, who found me like last year on some website, and we've become really good friends. And I'm happy to, send people her way because she's just an amazing woman and amazing therapist, who focuses on fertility, but of course takes care of, just like me, we take care of everybody, whoever needs help. But we both are very passionate about fertility. And I think because we both had our own fertility issues, we really want to help families, couples, single women, single parents, people, anybody who wants to have a family. We really want to help them get where they want to go. So, Shabnam, I know
Hi.
I just gave them a cursory, introduction to what you do, but go ahead and please introduce
Oh,
yourself.
yes,
And
I'd love to. Well, it's actually been 2 years, Millen,
oh
because
my gosh.
last year, last year you connected me to your mom.
Oh, that's right.
So,
It's been two
uh,
years. Oh my
it is,
gosh, time flies.
yes, yeah. But we connected immediately. It was supposed to be like a networking business connection, and we became friends so quickly within, I don't know, 30 minutes. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I'm thrilled to be here virtually with you. And you did a great job introducing me. I am a psychotherapist. We are here in California, so it's 6 o'clock, just after 6 o'clock our time. I'm licensed here in California. I'm also licensed in Georgia, so East Coast time. And I know I have a few followers in Georgia. And so being mindful that it's late evening then if they're actually watching live. And my practice family, I would say that I specialize in women's health, similar to you, and specifically to, infertility and fertility. Also postpartum, perinatal. So I keep my clients during pregnancy and after baby comes, if that's part of their journey and where they land. So I get to I have a client right now, and we've been working together a long time, and she's pregnant with her second. So, and I've had her since before her first baby. So it's been a privilege. But I know we met for our coffees as we do in person, and you said let's do Instagram Live, and I thought, wow, let's do it, and we were on the calendar not even a month later.
Yeah, I think, the benefit of doing this is hopefully people are popping on, especially in California, West Coast, popping on and maybe just seeing our faces and hearing a little bit
Right.
about who we are and what we're doing. And, just reaching more people about the importance of, getting a team of people to help you. You and I both do networking, and we try to know everybody we can who's doing this very special work so that we can really be there to support women in every aspect of their healthcare journey, whether it's fertility or menopause or whatever it is, uh, and it really does take a village to help people and help women. And we're so worried about everybody else, we forget to worry about ourselves. And so
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
important that women hear these, whether it's stories, information, or whatever it is, to get them the help that they need. Something might click for them, and they'll be like, "Oh, wow, I heard this," and, we'll get them where they need to go. So, yeah, I think IG Live there's some power in this social media that we need to use for good. So we keep hearing about how bad it is, but, I'm determined to use it for good. So,
Good, good. Well, I kind of would love to just jump right in. I know we both
yeah,
have type like a hard stop at certain time. So I wanted to, and I want to make sure that I answered your question, and then I'm gonna figure out the way technology wise to save this on my timeline so people can also get to know you, Mill. And I know you're hosting this, but I want to also hear.
yeah,
I want my followers to hear what you do because I am referring my clients to you. But let me just, let me kind of go back and answer my own question or the question you started with, and then have you kind of talk about
yeah,
like how you can
yeah.
help my clients if I refer them to you. So I offer the individual counseling, that one-on-one support for folks who are trying to grow their family anywhere from they've only been trying a couple months and get their period, and the feelings that comes with that, and all the way to through IUI, IVF, and possibly into using third party, which is using some type of donor, gamete, egg donor, sperm donor, or possibly even a gestational carrier, a surrogate. I also offer the consultations. I think we might talk about that and what that looks like. It's required for folks to have a consultation if they're going through a fertility clinic with a therapist or before they use a third party. So I offer those. I really enjoy offering those consultations for the person or couple. And then I do have a monthly support group for women, and it's a drop-in group and can be in Georgia or California and come in and connect with other folks. So that's what I do. But Millen, I want to hear again
Well,
what you do for my
but
clients. Yeah.
when is your group? Because I think, you're offering this group, which I think, is a massive offering for people out there who are looking to just connect with other folks having fertility issues. I think your group is on fertility, right? Specifically. So when is that group?
It's the first Thursday of every month, and it's
Mhm.
from 5:30 to 7. There's a small fee, it's $25, and that's really just to have folks sort of pay for it a little bit. And there's no really requirement. I might consider allowing an actual couple come in, but really I've marketed it towards
Mhm.
women. Sometimes folks want to bring their partner, but it's women who are trying to conceive.
Yeah.
And
And
I usually bring a topic, but they can bring what they want to talk about. That's usually how it
that's
goes.
awesome. I mean, I think just to be able to talk to a therapist in a group setting, I think that's a great price point. I hope people take advantage of it. I think it's a great way to also just test out the waters for therapy, because I know some people are really scared or don't. I know my family's Asian, we're Asian Indian background, and people are really scared to go to therapy or talk about themselves or share their hardships. Um, that's definitely prevalent in my culture. So and many cultures, not just my culture. So, I think it's a great testing ground for seeing how it feels to be in a group and to share. We are also going to be piloting some groups for fertility and getting help with that from a medical aspect. And a lot of people feel hesitant to be in groups, and I have done groups in the past, and I find groups to be a really powerful way to get information, to get support, and to get insight. I think sometimes, we do one-on-ones with whether it's a therapist or a medical provider. I'm a nurse practitioner, and we have our sort of kind of algorithm of how we take care of folks. And when you're in a group, sometimes there's information that comes up that's really different or
That's,
interesting, and something that
yeah. Yep.
the person who's running the group, the leader, may not bring up. And I really love groups.
Yeah. That's what the experience has been is so far with this group, it's been a year actually, has been usually there. I'm barely talking. Usually somebody is talking and they're sharing information. And I like how you use algorithm for what we do, but it's also what they, um, all these acronyms and have you thought about this and have you done that? Well, I've done this and maybe do that test, and they're educating each other. And there's so much information and knowledge that they are sharing in the group. Some of it is emotional, but a lot of it, some of it is more how to navigate the system. We spend a good amount of time on how to navigate the system, and I love that for them, because when I was on my journey, it's a lot to take on, and it's changed since. I mean, it's my sort of job to stay in the system and listening and paying attention and reading, but also they get to talk in a way that you and I don't really get to talk because we have this professional sort of fence, invisible fence that we're behind, but they get to say, just even small things. So it's great. Like who's a better doctor, which day is a better day to go in, what time is a better place to go in. So they really share these resources.
See, and that's the learning from that. I mean, and I used to do group pregnancy care. I've done group chronic disease care. I find it to be so much better than going in for a one-on-one visit. It may be longer, you might have a group visit or group session or group care for an hour or 2 hours, but you get so much more out of those sessions than individual sessions, for routine things. I think if you're trying to give really individualized care, that's different, but for more routine information, and also just feedback and support. I mean, the studies have been really great on group medical care, and I'm sure same with therapy and group therapy sessions. I think people really get a lot out of it. It's a little different. It's a different venue, and yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that we're going to be working on at Lotus. Is for the next year having group fertility care, prepping people for IVF, or doing sort of the first steps of what individuals, when they're wanting to get pregnant naturally. So that's something to look forward to for me. So
That's great.
Yeah,
yeah,
going to be fun.
I think two things. My main goal for the support group, is for folks to not feel so alone, even though they're on different points on their journey. It may be they've had three transfers that hasn't been successful, or maybe they haven't even stepped into a clinic, but they don't feel journeys. And I love what you're saying, Millen, because way back in the day when I did IVF, we did do a groups education at the clinic, and all of that's on like a video that you're watching online I mean, it's not YouTube, but there's no group setting anymore. It's just, watch this video, come tell me that you did. And we need it. We definitely, our clients need it. I'm so glad you're doing it.
The support piece, I mean, especially with fertility, I find what the work that I'm doing one-on-one, and I'm working with couples, to help them. Sort of our beginning stages is sort of detox, cleanse the body, work on diet, work on supplements, stabilize the hormonal system using herbs. Sometimes I use medications depending on what's going on, and then really getting people to have normal cycles and to improve that, and then also improve egg and sperm quality, and then overall health. And then if they can, they get pregnant naturally, and if not, we move them over to IVF. And in working with couples, the support piece. I mean, I think part of the reason people are doing so well when they come to me and are so far, we're batting 100% with people getting pregnant. And the reason I think is because I know it's so exciting. I've had, several couples and everyone's doing really well and has gotten pregnant, some 3 months, some 6 months, some people longer. But these are folks who really wanted to get pregnant naturally. And it is possible. I think there is restoration that can happen to the reproductive system, but it takes not just looking at the medical piece. It is about the emotional side of things,
Yeah.
the spiritual side of things. What is the connection between the mind and the body? Connection is very important. And so this is where I feel so happy to have you as a resource, because I can't do what I'm doing unless people really feel well supported, because what's happening, and it's preventing them from getting where they need to go. I remember I had a very wonderful conversation with one of my clients who was a little older, and she was just like, how do you do it? I'm a mom of two. I won't tell you how old I am, but my kids are becoming adults. One's an adult and one's becoming an adult. And she's like, how'd you do it? How are you doing it? How are you managing a career? How are you? And I was sitting here thinking, this little fear is preventing her from getting where she wants to go, because she's not totally in the game. I want to have a baby. She wanted to have a baby, but there's things holding her back, and I think that was affecting her physically as well.
Of absolutely, well, yes, absolutely. And I think she deserves to feel uh, as resolved as she can be on
Right.
whether she can, like, to be a mom and a career, right?
Yeah.
But, before, as you continue down this hard path of
Yeah.
any type of infertility treatment, more than just, having a couple drinks and going and having
Yeah.
sex, you can get that in a lot of places. But in one-on-one individual therapy gives you the opportunity to really process and not have to take care of anybody's feelings and not have to worry what somebody else will think. And most often, if they haven't, you won't know them fully. Um, so yeah, I think that's what she deserves. And
I mean,
it's,
I was speaking from as a person, I'm not a therapist. I coach, I do coach, but I did give her that support piece, um, from a very, a different space, just as a woman who's, has gone through some things. But it just reminded me how important it is for people to get that support from a therapist, and that be that important piece of, um, their journey, their fertility care that they're getting.
yes. You, you know, what this kind of brings me to is when we decided, Millen, to have, can I call you Millen? But when we decided to have this Instagram live, it was three of us, three professionals who were talking about the, like, confusing feelings that come up with fertility, right? With a miscarriage and the different feelings of sadness, and how I don't like to share a lot, but I will share that I felt excited and hopeful with my miscarriage. And I think it's so complicated. Somebody might feel relieved. Somebody,
Yeah.
everyone around me was, feeling just so sad, wanting to send flowers. And I
Mhm.
thought, I'm really excited to try again.
Yeah.
Um, or, I just want to crawl under the and just not come out. And that's okay too. I think it's being able to have your people, not even just your individual therapist, but to have your people who can just sit with you and hold that space of whatever it is you need, um, whatever that looks like.
I mean, just what you said, like, oh, miscarriage was hopeful for me, and for others it was relief, and for me, I remember, for me it was like the most sad and despair I had ever felt in my life, and so, I can, it's so complicated to be in this space and to not have the persons you need around you as a team of people. And I mean, I relied on my husband, and he did the best he could. He's a great guy, but I probably really should have seen you but I didn't have you then. So, I mean, it would have just made it a lot easier to have a person that I can go to. And that was why I also felt really motivated to go into this space, because there are so many um, different feelings and emotions, and there's so much heaviness around fertility, around being a mother, around all these topics, and the support is really important, whether it's medical support, therapeutic support, whatever type of support you need, dietitian support. I mean, we know a whole team of people, but it's so important.
Right, right. It's a lot. It's a lot to figure out, and it's a lot. Even just all the acronyms, right? Are you doing this? Are you doing
Yeah.
that? Do you have PCOS? Do you have this? Whatever it might be, all of these, and
And to Google all that. I mean,
oh,
everybody's Googling all that. Oh, how do I get this? How do I get that? I feel like that's overwhelming too. I mean, I don't know how, a lot of people are using Dr. Google to get answers. And I'm grateful that we have so much more information on the internet for people. But I see, we've talked about this. I see so many people on like a whole laundry list of supplements. And I'm like, "Ooh, you might be doing more harm than good, because you're not really sure what you really truly need." And that's where someone like me could figure it out from a integrative functional medicine, perspective. What do you really need? What's really going on, And so many times they're being told, "Oh, I have unexplained infertility." And it's like, no, there's a reason you're not getting pregnant, whether it's physical, emotional, whatever the reason. There's lots of reasons, and it's probably a combination of everything.
yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah. What else do we want
So
to talk?
I know we had talked about. I actually looked back at our outline.
Yeah, we're
So we
talking about all of it: counseling, fertility challenges. You wanted to give some tips on mental health, and
yeah, we're talking about it, but
yeah,
I'd love to just kind of be
yeah,
explicit and say
yeah.
how to manage, mental health, your mental health, the collective you, when someone is trying to
Mm-hmm.
get pregnant, um, and family. So some of them are going to be that we already talked about. The first one is getting support, getting support, and getting support, because this can be very isolating. And we have now entered a world uh, that there's a social media account, certainly a Google, there's all this stuff that's like behind the screen, and that's very helpful. That was not around when that long ago that I was trying to have a family. But there is you know I think reading and getting support can be great. And then I also think finding your people. So kind of what we talked about with miscarriage is finding, a little bit your husband, right? Or partner, or if you're single, who is your primary support? Find your therapist, if that makes sense for you. If you're open to therapy, if you can afford therapy, finding your therapist so that you can kind of learn and also have that space. Finding your friends that you can really truly be raw with, and really finding your people, your tribe, and as you're going through the journey, as the periods are coming, and we don't want the period, or as you're going through just even having the blood draws. I mean, it's a lot to go through the blood draws. It's a lot to just disrupt your work schedule. So I think knowing who your people are, I also think taking a step back, being mindful of who's closest around to you. And sometimes that might be taking a step back from friends who have cute babies, because they're really cute. Alice Domar has I forget the name of the book, but she has a million books on infertility. And one of them is one of her suggestions set is to find your friends who have teens, you know, children who are not so cute, and they also have time. So being mindful of who you spend your time with, your closest time with, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it is a sister or somebody really close to you who has a baby. So being really mindful of what triggers you and when you need to take a space from it. When you need to take a space from social media. Because again, if you're a lot of people, most commonly when you're having a kid, all your friends are having a kid. So everybody's posting about something. So being really protective in that way, and you don't have to say yes to everything all the time. Some of my clients, I say, no, you're not hosting that baby shower. What can we do to get you out of even attending that baby shower? So those are things that I are like just sort of easy, but they can be complicated to step out of. What I find with women in particular, we are people pleasers, and it's hard for us to say no. So sort of my sell on that is, this is you, and this is a small season. This does not define the kind of sister. This does not define the kind of aunt, best friend, coworker, whatever it might be. You just might be going through a small, short, hopefully, as short as can be, season where you are not going to be 110% there, and that's okay.
Great advice. Wow.
Yeah, thank you. I feel really passionate about this, so I can talk on and on about different scenarios. But I think sort of knowing who your people, taking a step back, and going to counseling, either individual or group, so that you're seeing a therapist who specializes within infertility and who's up on the lingo and understands
Totally.
what all this means.
I mean, just what you said about women, like we give 110%. And it's okay not to do that. I mean, just that permission. How many of us take that permission to just, oh, yeah, I just don't feel like being present because this X, Y, and Z thing happened to me, you know, um, especially during fertility. And I think fertility is also the time where everybody is probing and asking you 100 million questions about why aren't you having kids? I mean, especially my culture, when are you going to have kids? Why are you waiting for the second one? Why haven't you done, it's just like, oh my gosh,
All the
the constant,
time, all the
do I
time.
have to go to this? Do
Yeah,
I have to hang out with this aunt or uncle or cousin because, they're going to ask me 100 million questions and I just don't really want to answer them. So yes, permission to go and be distant and permission to not be there for others and be there for yourself. Like
yeah.
you take priority over everybody else. And I think that's a lesson all women can learn,
Ooh,
whether they have
yes.
kids or not kids or whatever your family situation is. We are the caregivers. We are socialized to be caregivers and caretakers for others. And not all of us, and some of us don't want that role, not power to you that, if you can stand your ground and not take that role, but it's foisted upon us.
All right.
And it's okay to say, no, I just don't want to do this. I need to take care of myself and my well-being. So,
Right. And I
so
say to almost all my clients, so this is great practice because,
yeah,
fingers and toes crossed, you'll get to be a mom or a parent, and you're going to have to learn to say a lot of no's. You're going to be figuring out where your limits are all over this place, not necessarily as a parent to your child, yeah, sure, down the line, but more with the people around you and your supports.
that's very true. And I really feel like the whole fertility journey and pregnancy journey is teaching you to really make priorities, how to take care of yourself. A lot of my couples, when we're teaching a lot about self-care and diet and exercise and, good rhythms. When you're a young adult, you don't necessarily always have the greatest habits because you're very resilient. Your body's really resilient and you could do an all-nighter or go out to a party and still go to work the next day, but that doesn't really bode well for fertility, and it definitely doesn't bode well for pregnancy and parenting. And so I
Right.
do feel like the whole journey of whether, from starting from fertility to pregnancy to parenting, you really are just learning limits, how to take care of yourself, how to take care of your family, and yeah, establishing boundaries and healthy habits. There's a lot of healthy habits that need to happen for families to grow. So,
And that is something culturally as women, and then as a Middle Eastern woman, and we didn't learn this. We didn't
yeah.
learn
Oh yeah.
boundaries.
What's
Boundaries.
boundaries? I know
What's
we're coming from similar cultures. I mean,
yeah,
pretty much same
yeah,
culture. Yeah.
yeah,
Like, you and all of it, everybody comes from very similar
yeah,
cultures. All women have the same role in
yeah,
all cultures. I mean, we're starting to see women in a different role. And I've had patients who are like, I don't want kids. And I'm like, power to you for figuring out what
yeah.
is going to make you happy. I mean, you don't have to have, kids. And I know you and I are in fertility, and we want people to help people who don't want to have kids, but I also help women who don't want to have kids, and
Right.
and figure out how to take care of themselves and how to balance everything in their careers and their lives and their families and their partner. So
And Millen,
it's
one of my strongest allies during my journey was one of my good friends who does not want to have kids. She's a woman. She doesn't want to have kids. Doesn't want to have kids. And she got her tubes tied. She's single. Had to beg the doctor to do that. Like she did, but she could hold that space for me. And she was safe for me, right? I wasn't waiting for her to tell me, like so many people, oh, I'm pregnant, right? Like I knew she wasn't going to tell me that. She was aware of that. So yeah, yeah,
you're going to hang out with her and it was safe. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
especially when all your friends are you know, going through pregnancy and then seeing her best friend, miscarrying and having trouble getting pregnant right now, and how difficult it is. And I've been through that too. I had friends who, were not able to have children, had tried and failed. That was the other sort of motivator behind my decision to do more fertility work, is just seeing so many women struggle who wanted to have children, did not have children, and had gone through IVF and did not succeed. And, you know, how difficult it is, to be the one. I was the one who had the kid, and
yeah.
to see my friends not having kids um, was really hard. It was heartbreaking for me because, I loved them so much and I wanted what they wanted, and, um,
I
but
think I
it's all
think
good.
the world the world has gotten more, fortunately, this is the benefit of social media, is there are people kind of talking about more. I mean, people still step in it, trust me, but people are talking more about like how to support your friends
Yeah.
who might be, and where I think
Yeah.
not even that long ago, people were like, I don't know what to do. There's nothing, you'd look on Resolve site, and
Yeah.
most people don't even, unless they were trying to get pregnant, didn't know about Resolve. So yeah. Um,
Yeah. I
so
think
yeah, sorry.
that's a great segue, I think, into talking about resources, because I know some people are going to be asking, hey, where can I get more information? I know Resolve has listed uh, your California, Georgia, and but there are other therapists listed on Resolve, I think, right?
Resolve is a great resource. So is ASRM, which
Or
is the assisted, no,
Society for Reproductive Medicine, American Society for Reproductive
American
Medicine, I think.
Society. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm sure having their conference right now. Yes, so they're a great
Yeah.
resource. They're actually a great resource for information.
Right.
Um, they're kind of like our
Yeah.
home for where we all go to and get
Yeah.
support and connect. Um, Depending on the issue, there's all kinds of resources for wanting, for using donor, for
Yeah.
and food, or PCO endometriosis. Each of them, that's what I would encourage folks to do, is usually what I tell them, is to reach out to you, and to also do the reading on the websites that are specifically like the Society for Endometriosis. I know they're yellow. I can't remember. I think October is their month. But yes, kind of getting their information from them and the healthcare providers around them.
Right. I mean, I always tell
Yeah.
people go to your go to your OBGYN for information. But, for functional medicine and what I do, I tell people to go to the Institute of Functional Medicine. And there's a small group of us who are doing what we're calling functional fertility. So basically using functional medicine to improve fertility. Sometimes it's called natural fertility or holistic fertility. But I'm using the term functional fertility just because I do functional medicine. And there is some really great information on Instagram. I mean, I post and people can go to my website at lotusintegrativehealth.com and find more information about how functional fertility could help them. I actually sell a course too, which actually is down right now. So if you're interested in the course, email me. I have to get that all settled. We just switched out some stuff on the website. But this has been really wonderful, Shabnam. Anything else
In that you just said that you sell the course. You're still around, but it's going to be back up. I think that's a great. I mean, for some people, that might be kind of like what you said about the group for therapy. It might be where they want to start. And I don't think everybody learns this, right? Like it's not just intuitive on how we need to take care of ourselves to prepare for pregnancy.
Yeah, the course is really a sort of an intro course, and I think it's a great foundation for how to kind of understand root cause of fertility issues and how to kind of just track your fertility, understand what's going on with it,
Yeah.
what some of the terminology, like you were saying, all the little acronyms and terminology, like, how to kind of start addressing your fertility from a natural perspective. And then we both offer free consults. So, you do, right? You talk to
I
people
do.
before
Yeah.
they join. Yeah.
Yeah. For
I'm sorry.
sure. For sure.
Yeah. So we both offer free consults where you can talk to us and understand kind of number one, just figure out, are we connected? Because I like to work with people who are connected to me and, I'm connected to them. And I do think that therapeutic relationship is important, but also just the information on what I'm going to be doing as far as their specific potential from a medical aspect. And I know same for you, I'm sure, like, what connection is there and what you can help them with.
Right. Well, and therapy is very personal, right? Like
Yeah.
what I do is very personal, and some people, don't want to. Like we want to make sure you have a good fit. I'm somebody that you feel like you can be vulnerable, and if I don't, usually if it's not like if you're not in my state, a state that I'm licensed in, or something like that, then I can help um, connect you. I'll do my best to connect people to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And we're happy to help you connect to somebody else. I'm working with people in California, Arizona, Oregon, and Washington now. So
Okay,
I'm licensed in those states. And we're working on a group program, which could be, US wide. So it's kind of what,
that's great.
so, yeah, let's see, hopefully you can pitch in a little bit to those groups. I'm hoping to get you get you involved in those.
I would love.
We'll have to talk about that. We'll have to talk about that. But let's wrap up. I think
Right.
we said we'd do like around 45 minutes, and it's been almost 45 minutes. It's gone. This was so cool. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
I hope
I don't
people
know.
found some
Do you save
information.
these? Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
these will be reposted. I'm going to, once I shut down, hopefully get a copy of it. And if not, we'll figure out how to get, I think you can also get a copy of it. So when you log off, I think it'll give you, can you download this to your Instagram?
Yay.
Reels. So it should work. But yeah, if you missed something or you just caught on right now and we're about to shut down, just look for this reel. It should be on our Instagram reels and accessible to you. We just spent about almost 45 minutes talking about fertility and fertility therapy and sort of functional fertility, what I do. And hopefully we will see you calling us for a consult or reaching out for help, because we're here to help our community with their needs, women, but specifically, hopefully, fertility. So
That's right.
thanks so much, Shabnam. I
Thank
think
you,
this was
Mila.
so much fun.
Yeah, it's great.
It is good. So, all right, guys, if you have any questions, reach out to us. You know our Instagram handles there, and we will talk to you soon. All right, bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.